And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Sunny Lake Cup. Sunny Lake Cup number 1. Hope you enjoyed the lovely brutal OST as we've returned with the grand finals of the tournament. Again, a bit of a shorter broadcast. Shout out to MindelVK, of course, for hosting, organizing the event, organizing this invitational, as we have our top 2 players. Nicoract, who was able to pop off with his mech earlier against Wayne. Now we're up against Shameless in a Terran versus Protoss matchup. Here we go. Now, this is going to be a little bit different here, and that is the fact that this matchup, this series, is going to be a best of 5, but regardless of score, all maps are going to be played. All maps will be played here, which may make things a little bit more awkward towards the end, depending on how things turn out. I mean, ideally, this goes all the way to the ace match naturally, but let's go. Let's jump on in. Again, Shameless, who was on the other side of the bracket. I believe Shameless was able to take down players of the caliber of Young Yakov, if I recall. No, sorry, the other one. GG Machine, that's it. GG Machine alongside Milky Cow as well. But here we go. We're getting into our next matchup and spawning in the top right hand corner of Leylands, we have the blue Terran player. We have the blue Terran himself. We have the Platinum Heroes, Nicoract. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the red Protoss player representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. Here we go. And again, we're back to our TVP matchup here. We saw that Nicoract had a very unique approach against, I say unique, right? He had a very different approach against Strange. If you remember, Nicoract, he was very passive. He was a little more passive, a little more defensive. He did take a bit of a step back against Strange, which is something that I'm not used to seeing. I mentioned earlier how I expect Nicoract to be the aggressor more than anything, but he had a very different approach against Strange, but I feel like that's mainly because of the player himself. Up against Shameless, I expect to see more aggression. I expect to see him in his face. We'll see how his approach changes from one Protoss to the other. But now double gas opener out of Nicoract, double gas into a faster factory. We saw that last time. This led into some incredible Banshee damage. If you recall, we had the Banshees popping off. We had one Banshee in the main, one Banshee in the natural, and they did a critical damage against Strange that was over on Pylon, if you recall. We'll see if we can replicate that success. We'll see if we can replicate that. So now we do have Shameless going for a standard opener. And we have our faster factory out of Nicoract. Oh boy. For the time being, we did see a lot of Stargate-based openers out of Strange, but I should also emphasize that was very Strange. It's not the norm by any means. Strange was more often than not going into Fiend's Colossus in his series. Here, Shameless, he's not that kind of player. We're expecting more standard play, Twilight Council into Blink, into a third base. That's kind of what we're leaning towards here in regards to Shameless. As Nicoract does dip in, looking for a way into the main. We'll soon have our take of choice. Likewise, Nicoract back at home going for the initial Cyclone opener. Okay, does go Cyclone first. Twist 1-1-1. There's our tech, a Twilight Council out of Shameless. So again, opening up Twilight Council, most likely into Blink, and most likely into a 3-gate setup. Again, it's very common nowadays to go 3-gate Blink into a Robo on 2 bases before the 3rd. We'll see if Shameless does cut corners and does decide to be a little bit more greedy here instead. We are on Leylands. Leylands is one of the more standard maps in the map pool, so again, we could see Shameless trying to cut some corners. Against Nicoract, I don't advise it, but it's possible. Does get a full scout, does get eyes on the 1-1-1. Will miss the add-on swap, as we are not going for drop play. And this going into, okay, interesting. Going into Fake Cloak Banshee. Meanwhile, we have a charge opener out of Shameless. So this charge-based opener is designed to shut down tank all-ins, like early tank pushes. I'm referring to Beyond all-ins, like Beyond pushes. Pre-stim, Vanilla Marines, tank Banshee-based play is what this does shut down. against more standard play, I mean, this can work as well depending on how aggressive Nicoract is going to be. Hallucination confirms. Ooh, Hallucination gets eyes on the fake cloak. Of course, Matrix gets cancelled. It was fake. Nicoract does move out with his initial drop. Yo, we got 2 Marines. Got the double Marine drop. Followed by Banshees, but again, just regular Banshee play here by Nicoract. Not investing into cloak. He's trying to force an overreaction out of his opponent. And that is going to be a Robo before expand. And a Temple Archives as well. We've seen this before. Harsum has been quite fond of this opener. This is charge into Storm before third base. Very safe, and it does shut down players like Hormona, for example. It shuts down hyper-aggressive players. Just a very safe way to open up. You can turn this into a more aggressive build, but if the Terran player realizes what's going on, if they just turtle up back at home and be more defensive, then they should be fine, slowly expanding and getting a third. Oh, never mind. Jeez, we're committing. As the boys are being pulled, we have our tank Banshee move out. We spoke about how Shameless's build is going to be more ideal against this, as long as he can scout. He does notice. Yeah, the Observer will confirm. Does confirm the boys, does get eyes in the army, and Shameless will need warp-ins. And he may have to... It's going to be difficult here. He needs extra warp-ins. Third base isn't helping. Tanks are moving in, soon to siege up. Shameless, he has to go for the dive. Yeah, it does go for the dive, collapsing on top of the tanks. First Banshee goes down, and Shameless, he should have enough here. It's going to be close. Tanks are moving in. Where's that warp in? Tanks, they siege up. And Shameless, he's only got 2 zealots. He needs more. Ooh, has 2 gateways get depowered. He can only warp into it. It's already 1 at a time. No more gateways. Just 1 is powered, and Nicoract, he's doing it. Nicoract, he does break on through, takes down 1, takes down both gateways. The Robo's depowered as well. 0 production. 0 production here for Shameless. We can see him trying to come in from behind, trying to force some friendly fire, but last nice target firing here out of Nicoract. Ooh, takes down both Stalkers, and he's done it. Nicoract has done it. GG gets cold. He breaks through the defensive line, and Nicoract takes game number 1. GG. Nicoract, he does take a lead in the series. Again, Shameless, he was not able to stop the army from getting on top of the pylon, getting on top of the gateway, getting on top of the production. He lost everything then and there. 2 gateways, and the Robo got depowered, and the shield battery as well. Feels Arctosis pylon, man. God. Estetosis. But GG, Nicoract kick things off with a win, with a lead. Let's go. GG, well played. And again, this sort of build hits before Storm. We spoke about the Storm before third base, going for the Temple Archives. That did not come into play. The opener of the build that Shameless went for is designed to shut down, specifically charge into Storm, is designed to shut down the stim timings. The stim all-ins that hit a little bit later, but this did hit much earlier, before any of that tech could really impact the game. GG. With that, we're getting into our next game, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Pylon, we have the blue Terran player, the blue Terran himself, leading the series 1-0. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the red Protoss player representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. We go and welcome one all to Pylon. Pylon being an even smaller map of the map pool, shorter rushes by ground. Aggression is even more favored here, and we'll see how Shameless does decide to change and adapt. Again, the big weakness of Shameless's build, of course, was just how quickly Nicoract was able to get across the map. That's how committed he was. Now tech-heavy Shameless was instead. So we'll see if Shameless goes for another charge-based opener, and this time commits into additional gateways, into more zealots. We'll see if he goes into blink instead. We're expecting one or the other, as Nicoract does open up economically. Single gas, faster CC. We go. So we are settling in. we go. As from here, we do see Nicoract just getting a CC on location. Doesn't go for it on the high ground or anything like that. So far going for something more economic. And Shameless should be feeling a lot more comfortable this time. He's aware. He also scouted. He's aware. He's aware of the faster CC. From here, he can open up a Blink instead. He may go for the same build, actually. 2 games in a row. We might see Charge again into Storm. But again, it does feel risky to go for that here on Pylon. So is that Twilight Council? Once again, Twilight Council. Again, the Stargate opener here would be crazy. It would be insane. On Pylon. Not here, not now. Oh, as we are going for the add-on swap, we have Reactor to Hellion in production. Tech Lab on the racks. From here, we can eventually go into the add-on swap into actual Banshee play. Into Cloak Banshee. Or go for drops. Double Hellion into double Widowmine. Widowmine drops are on the way. It'll be up to Shameless to defend. As this time we do open Blink. So 3-gate Blink, a relatively safe opener here out of Shameless. Hellion Reaper does not quite get in. There we go, does slip by. Slips into the natural. Does slip in. 3 probes going down. And that is going to be a 3rd base after the robo. So again, just really safe play here by Shameless. Checking his vision, he hasn't seen too much as to what's going on. We do have the initial drop moving out. It's going to be a quad drop here out of Nicoract, a lot more committed. For Widowmine's Hallucination does reconfirm that there is no tech lab on the starport, so he knows there's no Banshees. It's a Reactor instead. Once again, good scouting here by Shameless. Nicoract moving in. Back home to defend. What do we have? We have 4 Stalkers in the main base. We have 1 Stalker and a Sentry at the natural. Mines, they do hit the mineral line. Good reaction. Shameless pulls away. Oh, still that's going to be 3 probes going down. There's 3 workers so far. There's still 1 mine shot left. Oh, at least it was. Never mind. It all gets cleaned up. So 4 probes for 4 Widow Mines. I mean, not an ideal trade here for Nicoract. At least the MindelVK does not escape, actually. Yeah, MindelVK also went down. Ay. James defends. Shameless, he does defend well. Meanwhile, we have the CC in the main. Going for his 3rd. Base. Charge follow-up. So again, standard play here, we're going to be delaying splash damage in favor of a Gateway Army. Stalkers into charge. But Nicoract, he's going for a macro game. He's getting a 3rd. Something that we're not used to seeing here on Pylon. Okay. Getting a 3rd expansion. Links into the main. Goes for combat shields. Up, and it looks like he will get it. I'm sure he thinks it's Stim. The biggest of denials, but a denial nonetheless. Losing a Stalker for it. Stalker goes down. Shameless, he does race back home. On top of that, Shameless, I believe he did scout. Yep, he did scout the CC. He's aware this is going to be a more economic build, so he knows that he's safe to tech. We have the Bay on the way. The Bay, the Forge, +1, the Colossus production. Scan does shut down the Observer. Nicoract does move out. He's got a couple of boys. Oh, never mind. Just long distance mining. Just expanding. And he is hitting at least before the Colossus. Shameless is aware. Let's get the high ground. Oh. As he does try to catch at the army. Yeah, more Zealots warp in. Mine Shot doesn't quite connect. And we're getting into the tanks. Yeah, the tank is going to go down. And now just a bio army. And you can see this time Shameless has plenty to work with. Ooh, even catching a medevac. Medevac goes down. Nicoract, he was a little bit too committed there. He lost quite a bit. He lost a tank, lost a good chunk of Marauders, Marines as well. There was no need to push in like that. Especially considering he was expanding behind this. Should be able to hold on. Thankfully, there's no War Prism. There's no War Prism. There's no way to reinforce. Shameless, he shouldn't really commit in. I say that does go for the mineral line. Bleeds out those Zealots. Shameless has to calm down. Remember, behind this we have +1. We have Extend Double Lands. We have Colossus. There's no need to fight right now. We don't want him to hit an anti-timing. Shameless, just give him time. He'll have those upgrades. He'll have that tech. Just calm down. As Nicoract once again diving on the Colossus, not bad. Does get a catch. Does catch a Colossus. Very nice. Yeah, Shameless caught with his pants down. At the same time, Zealots, they do get across the map, but they're reinforcements to defend. So Nicoract, he holds back at home, even focusing on those Stalkers, and this is getting in hand. This is getting in hand. This is becoming far too much here. Gets into the mineral line as well. The value here is insane for Nicoract. Catching out the Sentry, catching out the Stalkers. Barely sniping both. And he pulls back. He pulls back home. Does some nice economic damage. Traded with the army. Picked off every gas-intensive unit. And here comes Nicoract. He smells blood in the water. He knows. He does smell blood. He commits. He knows he's so close to breaking Shameless. Oh, wouldn't mind as they go down. They don't get a single shot off. Not bad. The Colossus once again gets targeted. The Colossus cannot touch this army. It gets too close. Zealots are bleeding out. Once again, nice snipe there out of Nicoract. Pulls back. Pulls back. We got 2-2 on the way. Vikings are amassing as well. Nicoract just ensuring that the Colossus count stays low. But should soon be expanding. Should soon be expanding here. Zealots are going to be heading across the map. We have a Zealot run by being set up. Shameless, he's got a lot of catching up to do here. Unfortunately, there's no other splash damage to work with. No other Storm or Disruptor. Zealots, they get spotted. Nicoract looking solid. There's that 4cc. You could argue a little bit late, but regardless, it's on the way. 2-2 is about to kick in with this push. Gonna have those greater upgrades. We'll have those upgrades. That guy's moving further in. Colossus taking a little hits. The Vikings overextend. Yeah, this time the Vikings, they do overextend. They're going to be going down, and we'll lose every single Viking. And Nicoract, he has to respect this. Once again, steaming forward. Does get all the Stalkers, though. Yeah, guess what? The Colossus. But again, the Viking count is not there. We were praising Nicoract earlier in his series against Strange when it came to his Viking positioning, but here there was some miscontrol. Oh. Well, once again, a nice catch. Uno más. Can he get it? Barely should. Barely does. Yeah, one Colossus left. And Nicoract, he's overwhelming. He's overwhelming the army here. Does rush through. Takes down the Prism. Prism is going to... The Colossus goes down. Prism as well. And there's nothing. There's just nothing here. There's a couple of Zealots. We're trying to force friendly fire, but it does kite back well enough. And Nicoract will overwhelm. He overwhelms the army. Takes down the Zealots, the Stalkers, the EMP and the Stalkers as well. A bit of a waste of the EMP, but it's fine. He has plenty. GG gets called, and Nicoract, he takes a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a very aggressive style here to Nicoract. Initially, I was not fully on board. I'm referring to the first push at the third base, when Nicoract lost a lot of supply, lost his medevac, lost a lot of supply, lost SCVs as well. But it was afterwards where he was able to just capitalize on these critical moments. Whenever we saw a stray Colossus here and there, whenever Shameless was engaging maybe a little bit too far out of range of the rest of his army, or maybe overextending, was punished. Time and time again, sniping Colossus after Colossus. I was a little concerned about the fight on the left hand side where he lost all of his Vikings, but he was able to reinforce and just punish anyway. GG. GG, well played with that. And Nicoract does take a 2-0 lead, and now we're getting into game number 3, and we'll see if Shameless can make a series out of this, as Nicoract, he does have a very strong lead here and may even just take the 3-0. Oh boy. Bearing in mind, even if it is 3-0, we are going to have more games. Bearing in mind that all maps are going to be played out. And here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love. We have the blue Terran player, the blue Terran representing the Platinum Heroes, leading the series 2-0. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player representing T Little Fairy. Struggling in this series. We'll see if we can bounce back. We'll see if we can make a series out of this. It is a Shameless. Shameless. Ay, ay, ay. We go. So we are going to be settling in to our third game. Again, welcome to Ultra Love. Ultra Love is another one of these maps where aggression is going to be favored here. Not as intense as Pylon, but again, aggression nonetheless can work wonders. And we'll see if Shameless can stabilize. He's had a bit of a rough start. Again, last game he did go for a relatively safe opener, but the Colossus were just being sniped time and time again. He's going to have to be a little bit more conservative with his army movements, his army placements. He never really was able to build up his force and have any kind of threatening army. It just never happened. Oh boy. Nicoract does go for the more economic opener. Rax expands out of our Terran. And likewise a standard opener out of Shameless as well. Nothing crazy, there's no 2-gate opener, there's no proxy. Likewise no double gas, we're just settling in. Likewise we'll keep an eye on the add-ons. On the tech labs. We have yet to get into any cloak banshees in the series so far, but I'm sure we'll get there at some point. Likewise, I don't really think that Nicoract is one to play mech too much in this matchup. We saw mech against Wayne every game actually. We saw all the mech, and we have seen a rise in popularity of mech against Protoss with players like Cure, with players like Gumiho, Ryung, Maru. That is true, but I don't really think Nicoract is one to whip out that style. I don't think. Our Twilight Council. Why is it called Sunny Lake if it's nighttime? What do you mean? The sun is shining. What do you mean? The sun is shining. Guess depending on where you are in the world. True. Might be evening where you are. Oh. So far, Shameless trading with the Reapers. Does get away. Does pull out. Behind this, we have a Blink opener. We have 3-gate Blink into a Robo. Once again, a very safe opener. There's the same build that we saw 2 games in a row in a Pylon. Sort of. Oh, never mind. Okay. For a moment there, I thought I saw a 4th gateway. But yeah, 3-gate Blink. Calming down. Settling into our bases. Meanwhile, we do have another mine drop being set up here from Nicoract. This time only 3 Widow Mines. Nowhere near as committed. The last game we saw the quad mine drop kind of fall in its face. Here we're slowing things down. Only 3. This Nicoract does move out. When's the next viewer replay cast session? It should be soon. We have accumulated 3 replays so far. So we should be having a viewer replay cast soon, TM. Most likely after the weekend, though. Oh, this mine drop is coming in. I'll check the schedule. So far, good reaction. 2 probes going down. Getting up to 3, and what's important here, the Widow Mines are going to be saved. Shameless going for a counterattack, going straight for the bases, going straight for the main. Tanks are not in position as there are no tanks. He's just going for Stim. Stim is going to be denied. Nice pickup. Boys are being pulled. And Shameless, can he punish Nicoract again? There is no fighting production behind this. The first tank has just begun. But Nicoract, he's holding. And Nicoract, he does hold on. He does defend. Does cost him some mining time, but he's surviving here. And the mine drop can come back in. Oh, that's borrow. Getting a couple of probes. So far, 1. Jesus. Nicoract trying to be cheeky. 2 probes do go down. Shameless, he rotates. Oh, doesn't get the Marauder. Clutch dive. Dives into the bunker, saves the Marauder. Shameless expanding, a much later expansion here from Shameless. Delayed 3rd base. So far, this is not worth it. Shameless needs more damage. Oh, going for the dive. Does get the bunker. Does get the Marauder as well. And again, force the fight without Stim. The tank has arrived. Nicoract holding on. On the one hand, Shameless is getting some damage done. He's trading well. He denied Stim. But at the same time, the 3rd base is heavily delayed. So he needed more damage. Dropping into the main. Drops into the main base. Goes towards the natural. Nicoract is holding. And Shameless is taking up. We got the Bay on the way. We got a Gateway Explosion. Forge as well. He's slowly building up, saturating his 3rd. Nicoract, he throws down 2 more axes. Do you see what I see? I see 2 extra axes, and I do not see a 3rd TC. This feels like a 2-base all-in. We're waiting for the upgrades, of course, waiting for +1. But the extra axes, lack of add-ons, is more indicative that we're planning on committing. We do plan to commit. And Nicoract, he may pull the boys with this. Oh boy. Now Shameless, he hasn't seen this.
Complete.
He hasn't seen it, doesn't know. Oh, until now. This nation goes into the main base. There we go. He does scout the Raxes. He confirms no 3rd TC. He knows. Shameless, he is aware. Warping in more Zealots. Prism coming in from behind. And here comes the move out. Nicoract is pushing. At the same time, drop into the main. The upgrades, they will finish by the time Nicoract gets across the map. Going for a massive warp in. Boys are being pulled. And Nicoract, he doesn't turn around. He doesn't turn around. He's got to go. He doesn't pull the boys to attack, but he is all in. There's no third. There's no third. There's no expansion. He has 4 tanks. No shield batteries. Remember, Shameless, he saw what was coming his way. I'm a little bit surprised of that. Shameless has got 700 minerals. Oh. Alas, did miss a warp in. No shield batteries either. Tanks are pushing forward. Zealots are getting ready for a flank. Collapsing in from behind. He's going for it. Yeah, it does go for it. Tanks are under fire. 1 tank goes down. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets 3. Yeah, he gets all 3 tanks, but there's still 1 tank left. And Nicoract looks like he may have just done it here. Yeah, he has. Yeah, he has just done it. Takes care of all the zealots. Now gets over the stalkers, and Shameless, he has nothing left. He has nothing here. And again, he saw the all-in coming ahead of time. He chose not to get shield batteries. No defensive setup. GG gets called, and Nicoract, he overwhelms. He will claim the series with a 3-0. GG. GG, well played. I would say that Shameless, he had the information he needed to determine that it was going to be an all-in, that it was going to be a massive breakout. He had time to respond, but alas, he didn't quite have the setup at the third base. 0 shield batteries. We did miss a warp-in as well, partly because the warp-in across the map in the main base, which was able to delay reinforcements, but not much more than that. And GG. GG, well played with that. Nicoract, he will claim it. But as a reminder, the format here is a little bit different. Despite the scoreline, despite what's been happening, Nicoract, he will be our champion, but we will still play out the final set of games. As a little bit less on the line, I will say that. That does make this a little bit more awkward, but we still have a game 4 and a game 5 to play out. Let's go. Let us go. So yeah, getting in. Throw it in when I can. All good, all good. I'll just check the calendar here. Again, we've been insanely busy as of late, unfortunately. But, let's see. Maybe after Pegasus Cup? Maybe? I think that's probably the best time for it. Just double checking. Yeah, I'm leaning towards post Pegasus Cup. Oh. Otherwise, here we go. Here we go. This morning in the top left hand corner of Maganatha, we have the Blue Terran. The Blue Terran player himself, representing the Platinum Heroes. He's already leading the series 3-0 in this best of 5. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, fighting for at least a better scoreline here. We'll see if we can put a point on the board. It is the red Protoss. It is a Shameless for Team Little Fairy. Here we go. So probe does move out. And again, Shameless having a bit of a shaky and rocky series here against Nicoract. He has had some good moments, don't get me wrong, but only moments here. As Nicoract has been able to punish. And again, really impressive. Like, I would have favored Shameless 100% coming into the series. Would have favored him. But alas, that is not the case. Nicoract has been just very much so in his face. The killer instinct has been real when it comes to just punishing the army, pushing forward, pressing his advantage. Having some cheeky builds as well, like faking out Cloak previously. That was in game 1. But that last game was more so on Shameless, for sure. Like, again, he saw the Raxes. He saw the setup. He had the money. Maybe he was hoping that the warp-in into the main base would delay the push, but again, it was an all-in. Ah. Hello, Nicoract. I mean, he's already won the series. It's time to have some fun. That's a third TC, by the way. That's a third TC before second racks, before factory, before anything else. So racks expand out of Nicoract. Hyper greed here. This is a Bjorn build where Bjorn goes 3 CC, 3 racks. So here comes the second racks, and we're expecting a third racks as well for stim timing. This is a hyper greedy. Yep, there it is. There's that third racks. Again, we've seen this plenty of times from Bjorn. Bjorn is very fond of this build. He does mix it in very often, and Shameless does confirm the greed. Now, this is a very early scout here by Shameless, very early and really critical as well. He can do one of two things. He can be hyper aggressive to punish this, or he can try to keep up with the greed. Looks like he wants to expand. Oh, he wants to. And he will. Okay, what I was going to say is that a way to punish this build that Nicoract is going for is to abuse the fact that there are no tanks. Very similar to the previous game where Shameless was able to blink into the main base and she was able to get some damage done. You can respond with 4-gate blink. You can go 4-gate blink Stalker and you can brutalize this position as there will be 0 tanks to defend. There will be a massive amount of bio, but with good enough blink control you can out-trade and you can overwhelm. As we can see though, Shameless, his response instead is to try to catch up with that greed and claim a faster third. It is going to be 2-gate blink. 2-gate blink Stalker into a third base, a very economic, very greedy build here by Shameless. Behind this, then going for a 4-gate follow-up, but does go for the fast third. And he should get away with this, true. Like, there's nothing to threaten him, right? The Bio Army, there's no move-out potential here just because we're waiting for stim, waiting for the upgrades. And the purpose of this build is to get the third base up and running as quickly as possible. This build doesn't really kick into high gear until the third base gets saturated and until you actually reap the rewards of this third. Until then, we're still on 2 bases. I mean, it does allow Nicoract to saturate his natural base faster, true, because he can make 3 SCVs at a time, and he has extra mules. That is true, so he has faster natural saturation, but again, he will have, and he should have faster third base saturation. It'll be on Shameless to try to delay the third base for as long as possible to deter the build. Shameless swinging in, gets 1, gets 2, gets 3 SCVs, gets 4. Remember, there's no stim. Oh, but he will lose 1 Stalker. So a bit of an overextension there from Shameless. Third base not being taken. Shameless does pull away. And I'm concerned here for Shameless, as it's going for a gateway heavy composition. Going to charge from blink. No splash damage, not yet. And Nicoract, he gets his third base. He gets his third base uncontested. Nicoract does punish. Now we have the Bay on the way, getting into Colossus. Nicoract, he should be able to hit first. What does Nicoract have? Well, he's got +1, he's got combat shields, concussive shell, stim. What are we waiting for? Medevacs. Once the Medevacs arrive, then he can start being active on the map. And the third base is getting fully saturated. Again, the soup does lie. Right now the supplies are quite close, they're quite neck and neck, but again, that changes once the third base gets fully operational. We're almost there. I would argue that this 4th base for Shameless is late. If he were trying to like catch up economically and try to maintain a lead. So in chat, how do we have a 3-0 in a best of 5 and still keep going? They play all games. I mentioned this before, but maybe you just tuned in. All games are being played regardless of scoreline. So this could be a 5-0. This could be a 5-0, it could be a 4-1, it could be a 3-2, but we are getting all 5 games played. There's a little bit less weight on the line just because Nicoract already won the series, but all games are being played. type in the chat for those that have the stream muted. Por si acaso, just in case. As both players have been pretty passive, I'm a little bit surprised here, not gonna lie. A little bit surprised of our passivity. Would you see that Nicoract, he's building up into Ghost production with Vikings as well, getting into his own refined army. Shameless building up his Colossus. Double expanding. Oh, EB goes up. CMP is run by does hit reinforcements, so Nicoract, he does defend back at home. Will lose a bunker, but does clean up the zealots. And we're waiting for the moment that Nicoract maxes out. So it looks like he does plan on waiting to max out first before being active. Oh, there we go, does split up his army. Shameless, he's distracted. Nicoract coming in from behind. Going for the 5th. And should force a cancel. Shameless out of position. Are we going for the base raid? Yeah, we might just commit. He's not subbing. Let's go. He's not subbing. The boys are being pulled. There's not many reinforcements back at home. Nicoract, he cannot hold his own. He has to back off. Has to retreat. I mean, he's Sims 40, gets a Colossus, but oh, he bleeds out so much supply. At the same time, he goes in. He's going in. Getting into the natural. Planetary is able to trade, picking up some zealots. Whatever unit you can pick up does count. Whatever you can get. And 2-2 is almost done. 2-2 is just now finishing up. Nicoract busting into the main. Ideally will deny +3. Not just +3, denies all the upgrades. The upgrades are denied. Nicoract, he evacuates the natural. Evacuates the natural. He's just banking up in the main. Everything in the main is because he powered. You can see Shameless trying to rebuild his economy, rebuild his production. Nicoract, he has no income, he has no economy. Shameless still has so many bases up and running. Yeah, Nicoract, he did not do an amazing job when it comes to splitting up his army. Shameless is racing back home. He still has all these bases. He turns back around. And Nicoract, I don't think he can take a head-on fight. Oh. He doesn't see. Does get a mineral line. Here comes Shameless. Nicoract, he has to kite back. Vikings, they do get one Colossus. Ooh, barely one. One Colossus goes down. There's a second army. And Nicoract has to calm down. Oh no! He has to calm down. Pulls away. Pulls away. Ooh, bleeding out the Vikings. 2 Vikings go down. But Shameless, he has rebuilt his production. He's got 2 bases fully operational. And we're back to the base trade. we're back to the base trade. The main base doesn't really matter too much for Shameless, so you could argue this is a little bit of wasted time here for Nicoract. Killing all those buildings. Nice time for the Observer. Observer goes down. Nicoract, he's going to pull the boys. Trying to rush forward. Has to kite back. Cleans up all the zealots. But what about the Colossus? Oh my god, yeah, Colossus. So many swipes going up. Marines are going down. Nicoract just trying to trade as best he can. Forced to pick up. We'll lose the full medevac. And where are we going? what's the plan, Pappy? Where are we headed? There's a recall. Does recall. Shameless, he can reinforce, he can warp in. I mean, there are EMPs available, but there are no Vikings. Oh no! Throws away a ghost. Miss rally. Colossus are somewhat exposed. Okay. He's stimming in. He stims in, but there are reinforcements coming in as well. Gets 1 Colossus, but last Shameless, it looks like he should have enough. He should and he will. Again, the base trades were lackluster. The bases, they were left untouched. And Shameless, He's gonna put a point on the board. Let's go. GG gets called, and Shameless, he does fight back, and we do have 1 point in favor of Shameless. GG. Again, a very awkward base trade there for Nicoract. As you mentioned, like it felt like a lot of wasted time at some points. Like I did like his dive into the main to depower everything, but there was also like the Vikings in the air that weren't landed. So there was just wasted DPS there. The bases were left untouched, specifically the mineral lines. Ideally, you'd want to split off some units into each base to threaten the economy. Alas, Shameless, because of that, he could just recall back home and just rebuild. Like he had 3 bases up and running, had plenty to come back to. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting into the final game of the series. We're going to be loading into Torches. Jesus, that's the final game. Let's go. Torches, of course, being one of the more quirky maps out there. One of the most viewed maps in the map pool. Top 2 alongside Last Fantasy. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Torches, we have the blue Terran player, the blue Terran himself, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself, representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. We go. No. So getting into our final game, and again we'll see if Shameless can bring us to like a quote-unquote ace match, or can make it a close series with a 3-2 scoreline. We'll see if Nicoract will just secure himself even further. As welcome to Torches. Welcome one and all to Torches. Torches, again, is one of the more unorthodox maps in the map pool. It has a short rush distance by air, very short rush distance by ground as well, if you mine through these patches. You have the ability here to mine through the patches to reduce the time it takes to get across the map, and to try to rush into your opponent. Likewise, we have the center gold bases as well. We have the fringe gold bases. We got the healing pad that has no air blocker, so even air units can use it as well. There's a lot to factor in. Something that we have noticed when it comes to the meta is that we have seen Protoss players more often open up Stargates here on this map, just because of the short rushes by air, just to get economic damage done early on, or to shut down drop play, just to hard counter your opponent dropping as well. So we have seen quite a lot of Stargate play. At the same time, we've seen the players try to blind counter Stargate play as well to counteract that. So we've had this kind of back and forth. We'll see what Shameless goes for. For now, economic opener out of Nicoract. Standard opener out of Shameless. Shameless does hide the probe. Ideally, he's going to be hidden against the Reaper. Reaper does move out across the map. Oh, and we are proxying. Okay. Pylon is thrown down. Shameless setting up the proxy. Here, jumping back and forth. And with this, Shameless is going to try to punish the more economic ability of Nicoract. Nicoract behind this, going to his own 1-1-1. 1-1-1 opener. We have 3 gates on the way here for Shameless. Let's go to 3-gate setup. Let's pull some of the boys. A bit of a shaky response here from Shameless, losing mining time. And we'll lose the probe as well. Does get the Reaper. At the same time, the Adept does get across the map. Yeah, so far, I mean, there is no bunker here, so Shameless, he will punish. As we mentioned, with thanks to that proxy, able to reinforce. One Stalker gets surrounded. And nice control with the Cyclone. Cyclone does take down 2 of those Stalkers. 2 Stalkers left. Nicoract going into Cloak Banshees. Shameless does reinforce. Does move in with more Stalkers. Catching at SCVs. And he wants that Cyclone. Oh! It does move in. Tank does siege. Ooh, and the tank does punish. Tank volley going up. Banshee has arrived. It is going to reveal itself. But Nicoract is holding. Nicoract, he is holding on. Oof. Catching another Stalker. Shameless still reinforcing, still warping in. Isn't stopping, isn't slowing down. There is a Robo on the way. I mean, thankfully he saw the Banshee, so he's getting ready with the Robo before the third base, so he will have access to the section. Cloak is almost done, and we'll see if Shameless can keep up. We'll see if he can defend. Bearing in mind as well that the Twilight Council and Blink is late. It is delayed because of the extra gateways. Remember, it was 3 gateways before tech. That's why Nicoract was so underprepared. But I would say that didn't really do as much damage as we were hoping for. Got Marines, got 4 SCVs, but also got 5 Stalkers. And here come the Banshees. Again, 2 Banshees, they can one-shot units, they can one-shot probes. Cloak is almost done. And Blink will finish in time, but how many Stalkers do we have? 7. Stalkers, we have 4 of them here at the natural. We have 2 in the main. Just going for the... Okay, just going for the Stalkers. Yeah, the Observer's on the way. We have the main army pushing out. The boys are being pulled, and Nicoract, he can miss the all-in. He does commit. Does commit across. Shameless is distracted. He does rush in. Behind this, no shield batteries, no defensive setup. There is Blink, thankfully, but the pylon is going to go down. Depowers the Robo. No mortals. Oh, he dives in, and he's going to be punished for it. Yeah, he gets 1, he gets both tanks, but he will lose almost every single Stalker. That was not worth it. Yeah, not worth it. Down to 4 Stalkers. The army does rush forward. Now we're up to 3 Banshees. Yeah, despite the detection, does not matter. Robo goes down. The Observers get caught. And the Banshees, they just reign supreme here over the Stalkers. And I was hoping that we might have, you know, the quote-unquote close series of the 3-2, but nah, Nicoract, he won't be stopped. He won't be stopped. He breaks the natural base. And GG. GG, well played. Nicoract, he will claim the series 4-1. And of course, confirm himself as the winner, the champion of the very first Sunny Lake Cup. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Nicoract. I mean, he already confirmed his win earlier, but now we have our official scoreline, 4-1 in favor of Nicoract. Again, a bit of a more unique format where every game was played despite the score. So we could have seen a 5-0 technically, could have been a 5-0, could have been a 3-2 or a 4-1 in the end. And there it is. That's what he gets, Pappy. The cup in the Sunny Lake. Beautiful, beautiful. Shout out to MindelVK. Shout out to MindelVK for, of course, organizing and hosting the event. MindelVK typically does organize Fire Cups, but has opted to create this tournament as well. I don't know if this is going to become a regular monthly event. It might just be like sporadic in nature. This is a shorter tournament compared to Fire Cup. It's only a 1-day event, and on top of that, it is invitational. It is an invitational, an 8-player invitational instead. It is not an open bracket, and we saw Nicoract pop off. Really impressive play. It was not an easy road for Nicoract, but he took down Wayne and he took down Strange, and of course Shameless as well. And I would typically favor Strange and Shameless over Nicoract, but Nicoract has been improving. I would also say that Shameless was looking a little bit shaky at times, more so than usual. Our expectations of Shameless are typically a little bit higher than that, but Nicoract was solid. It was solid here tonight. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Nico. GG, well played. And again, we'll see if we get any more of these in the future. If so, we'll do our best to cast some live. In the past, or we were meant to cover this live, but at the time we were just busy with the Thermal 2-2 circuit, with OC King of the Hill, with all these other events that have been going on, so we just weren't able to cover it live, unfortunately. Next time we'll do our best to be there for it, for sure. GG, well played. Otherwise, we have the rest of our schedule here for the rest of the week. We just wrapped up with our morning broadcast, as you can see here with Sunny Lake Cup, and you can see this evening we're going to be live with the Little League Cup. The weekly Little League Cup is going to be this evening. It is a new weekly tournament, so do look forward to that. Likewise, we have the Platinum Esports monthly tournament on Saturday. We have Sparkling Tunic Cup on Sunday, and we have the StarCraft Evolution League on Sunday as well. I don't want this to be any confusing or to cause confusion. I believe we won't be casting StarCraft Evolution on Sunday because of the Thermal 2v2 circuit. The Thermal circuit is going to be this weekend. It's not on our schedule because we're not casting it, but we are adminning, we are running the tournament itself, so we're going to be working behind the scenes on the Thermal 2v2 circuit, and the playoffs are this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday, those are going to be the playoffs. That is where our attention is going to lie. And because of that, most likely we will not be casting the StarCraft Evolution League. Instead, we'll be most likely covering that via replays throughout the course of the week. And there's going to be a lot of replays. There's going to be a lot of matches happening over the course of the weekend with StarCraft Evolution, with the 2v2 circuit as well. A lot of content, a lot of StarCraft. We'll do our best to cover as much of it as we can. We'll do our best, we'll do our best. Earlier, someone was asking, Walker was asking about our replay coverage of viewer replays. We currently have 3 replays in our backlog to cover, and most likely that'll be, I'm looking at our schedule, we are the most free on Wednesday, the 20th of August, after Pegasus Cup. So it's going to be a Pegasus Cup, then most likely viewer replays after that, as again, we have been slowly accumulating them over time. So that'll most likely be our go-to. Otherwise, our next week even, is just going to be full of StarCraft Evolution. It's going to be filled to the brim of StarCraft Evolution. It's going to be a lot to get into there for sure. And again, we have the RSL at the end of the month. We also have, of course, the French tournaments around the corner as well. That's also around the corner. We have Home Story Cup towards the end of the year. We have the Platinum Esports League finals. That's going to be in December. There's a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft. A lot of StarCraft. We'll do our best, Pappy. We'll do our best. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. When it comes to the Little League Cup, I believe that's going to be in 9 hours. Let me just double check. It's going to be at 8 p.m. KSE. That's going to be at 9 p.m. AST. That's going to be in 8 hours. Okay, so in 8 hours' time, we're going to be live once again with Little League Cup. Till then, we got some work to catch up on. For sure. Till then, we got some catching up to do. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. We do appreciate it. And stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Who is live at the moment? Who is live? Who can we send everyone over to? There's a couple of people. I saw Practice X earlier. True. I see Nero. I see Nina. I see Livy. Cosmito. Cosmos is also live. I see Krista. I see Vindicta. Miguelito. Also live. Okay. Fear Dragon is playing some Legend of Zelda or Ocarina of Time. Yo. I would rate Fear Dragon if he was playing StarCraft. But cool, he's playing Zelda. Yo, Beefy is live. Let's go. We'll give some love to Beefy. Beefy's got 1 viewer. Yeah, we typically try to raid some smaller streamers whenever we can. I'm tempted to raid Miguelito, to raid Vindicta, but we'll give it to old mate Beefy. For those who don't know, Beefy, he's the star of Cheeseadelphia. If you've been watching Cheeseadelphia these past couple of editions, then Beefy, he's been there, the star of the show, the cameraman himself. Much love to Beefy. But a little bit of context as to what this raid is for, as well, or what he's streaming for, because he only just recently started streaming, is that Beefy, he actually entered like a quote-unquote competition that Uppertree started. Sal, he started like a I think it's a deadlift competition between all the StarCraft 2 streamers. So Sal, he basically posed a challenge to all the StarCraft 2 streamers out there to post their like biggest lifts, and to be eligible for that, you have to have at least streamed like X amount of hours per week. And Beefy, he's a big boy, but he doesn't stream StarCraft, so he started streaming StarCraft so he can be eligible for the lift competition. So that's gonna be that's what's happening there. So best of luck to Beefy, best of luck to Sal, and best of luck to all the others that are gonna be competing in StarCraft. for those lifts, baby, for the gains. Oh my god. Crazy, crazy. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. And we'll see you next time. We'll see you guys next time in 8 hours' time for our next cast for some more StarCraft. See you then. See you then, pappy. See you then.